Coming up on this episode of Nintendo Cartridge Society. Ooh, congratulations. You will receive 2 free tickets on the cruise ship Nintendo. It's dangerous to go alone, so the Nintendo Cartridge Society goes with you. Welcome to Nintendo Cartridge Society. My name is Patrick Ellers, and I am joined, as I am always joined, by my co-host, Mark Mitchell. Mark, how's it going?
It's going so good. Can I tell you something? We are FaceTiming each other right now, and I'm doing everything they tell you not to do when you are, if you want, look, out of like, self-preservation or, not even pride, it's just pure, like, I just want myself to look good, I'm doing everything wrong in this instance. I'm, like, backlit. I'm shooting from, like, underneath. Like, I look like a monster, a really tall, elongated monster.
You do look like you're very, very tall, especially because like the low angle of the camera, I can see like your cabinets behind you, and they look like they are buildings, like they are skyscrapers that aren't very far above your head.
So I guess what I'm saying is I'm glad we know each other in real life. So that is the picture of me that you are seeing. For our listeners, I am a monster.
No. For our listeners, Mark is an Adonis. I'm beautiful. We both look great. You know what else is beautiful and looks great is my copy of Sonic Forces, which for the moment you cannot borrow, and I apologize. But the program still lives. It's just in a stasis for the moment. Like so many of us are. If you would like to get on the list to borrow my copy of Sonic Forces eventually, you should send us an email at Nintendo Cartridge Society
at gmail.com
and give us a mailing address, and we will see when the world comes back together if you can borrow my copy of this game.
I wonder how close we got that time to nailing it.
So that one to me sounded perfect.
Oh wow.
But I don't know what that means.
I would love if nothing else comes out of all of this, that we just like get the timing of that down so good.
I mean, we would be accomplishing something that no other podcast would be able to. Look, I take in a lot of podcasts, which means I'm taking in a lot of podcasts where people are doing them remotely for the first time right now. And it makes me feel not as bad about our stumbles.
Something that's coming up really soon that we're doing is all through April. We are doing another retro month like we did last March. This retro month, we're going to be playing the SNES classics starting April 2nd with The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past. And we would love for you to play along with us, play a little bit of the game, experience it for the first time, send us your memories of it. Any sort of like feedback you have on your experience to Link to the Past, you should send that to us. Again, do that pretty soon because we'll be talking about it next week. And then on April 9th, we'll be talking about Super Metroid. April 16th will be Super Mario World 2, Yoshi's Island. And then April 24th is Star Fox.
And shout out to the Fourth Stranger at the Fourth Stranger on Twitter, who sent us a picture of all 4 of those cartridges on a table. That brought me back to like 1994 right there, seeing them on like a hardwood table, just being like, oh yeah, that could be my mom's house. This could be a picture from my from our kitchen when I was a kid.
And if you are not so lucky to be Patrick's house or his kitchen when he was a kid, you can play all of these games on the Nintendo Switch Online, or on the SNES Classic Edition, or on the 3DS Virtual Console. All these games should, for the most part, be widely. Yes, exactly. Should be widely available.
Yeah, and we would love to, have people playing along. We have picked mostly good games. I think we'll argue about whether or not Star Fox is a good game.
Or
Um,
even playable in this day and age.
I vow here and now to get to the end of Star Fox. To
I'm not
beat
doing
Star
that.
Fox.
I'm not doing that. I'll try.
I vow. I vow.
I don't vow. Mm-mm. No way.
One thing we wanted to talk about. The thing that we're doing today, like our topic for the day, is that we are going to be talking about Nintendo lands, Nintendo areas that we would like to visit on vacation. But before we get to that, that topic is sort of inspired by Animal Crossing, New Horizons, and how we have been going on little mini vacations by visiting other people's islands, and how people have gone on vacations visiting our islands. Mark, I saw that you opened your island the other night for like an hour. Tell me about how that went.
It was really fun. I think I had 4 or 5 people stop by. One thing that was interesting is I opened it up by Dodo code, and
Mm-hmm.
I think when people come to your island by Dodo code, they're able to become best friends with you. But when they're there, there's like limitations on what they can do that best friends don't have. Like somebody was like, "Hey, you have a fossil," and I told them you can go ahead and pick it up, but they're like, "Can't. We're not best friends."
Yeah,
So
yeah.
just like
If you're
stuff
not
like that.
if you're not best friends, you can't like chop trees and you can't dig holes, I believe. Um, yeah. So like, if you were to dig up the hole, if you were to dig up the fossil and then leave it there, then I think they could take it.
One of the things that I have found a little bit like obnoxious is the loading screen that happens
Yes.
when somebody is joining your island. Not that bad like the first time, but when you're already interacting with people and then everybody just kind of has to take a 30-second break while you
Yeah,
get this like loading screen.
it's so weird. Like, I get why it takes a little bit of time, but like, why can't the game run normally while that's happening? Like, what's really happening on your end that you need to be like in a loading screen for half a minute? Why?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't get it either. But all that being said, like I know that in previous versions of the game you've been able to do something similar, but I don't know
Mhm.
if it's because this is the most like friends that I've had on a Nintendo console. And I know that, Nintendo gets a lot of crap for its online infrastructure, but uh, this is the most that I've ever been on other people's Animal Crossing islands or had people like visit my village,
Yeah.
and it makes the experience so much fun.
Well, especially because, and I've actually heard like this complaint about the online is that without making people your best friends, there's not that much to do on someone else's island. But that means that you're sort of reduced to like, when you're using your Nook Miles tickets to visit like a deserted island, you're really just there to maybe recruit a new neighbor, and definitely just mine the island for all of its resources, right? But if you're visiting like a real life friend's island, the fact that you can't really gather that many resources means that you're sort of just there to see what they've done. Um, and like, there's something so like wholesome and wonderful about like, people coming by and like, saying like, "Hey, I like this outdoor area you set up," or, um, being like, "Oh, you've got the rug salesman here today." Like, cool, like, I don't know, everything feels so, um, and I think partially because of the restrictions, feels so just like nice and friendly, and like all you can do is like, play the ocarina with someone and then like wave at them, and it's a magical little experience.
I have really been appreciating like the Nook Connect app or whatever it's called. That's part of
Yes.
the Nintendo Switch like phone app. So you
Yeah.
can, instead of having to use the in-game keyboard to type chat messages, you're just able to use like your phone's keyboard, and that has been a lifesaver.
Yeah, it speeds things up considerably. It's still funny how short the messages have to be. But there's also like a voice chat component too, which I haven't really done yet. Partially because like I had my island open this morning, and thank you to everyone who stopped by. It was great to see people and like be like, oh yeah, like yay NCS, like that was fun. And like I got dragged away to do some work for a little while, so I just like I have a table and a chair like right by the airport. So I just like sat my little guy down there and like was doing work and would like look over every now and then, like someone would be coming by and interact with them for a little bit. But yeah, like I really like the idea that it can be a semi-passive thing of like you can open up your island and not have to like directly interact with someone. And then you like wander into your town square later and like, oh, there are some peaches someone dropped on the ground.
Oh yeah. Do you have all of the fruit now?
No, I think I'm missing apples.
Oh, I'll send you an apple.
All right, great.
I'm missing. Okay, so last night after I closed my island, I went to friend of the show June. I went to his island, and then new friend of the show Kara. I went to her island as well, and so she had oranges, and she let me take a bunch of oranges. I can't remember if I planted one or if I was too greedy and like sold all of them. I think I might have planted one, but I can't remember, and it'll be a couple of days until I can figure out.
Yeah.
So I think oranges so hopefully I have oranges, but if not, then I'm missing oranges. For sure I'm missing peaches. I haven't run into anybody who has peaches yet.
Oh, okay. I think I have a peach that I didn't plant. I've been pretty good. I have like an orchard, which is it. I wanted it to be like a nicely like lined rows of trees, but there were some fruit trees already in there, and I didn't want to like cut them down and start over. So like the grid is it's more like a fruit forest, but I love it, and so I'll start to grow just about everything from there. But I think I have one peach that I didn't plant. I can send that to you.
My island is not. I've decided that I'm not going to do like really structured plantings. I want it to be just kind of like very wild and natural feeling. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, and that's the area that I refer to it as an orchard, but maybe a grove is a better.
That sounds nice.
Like it is just a densely forested areas full of fruit trees. And then I also have like a space on top of a like a higher peak, where I'm planting a lot of red flowers and one of each fruit tree. And that's
I like that.
Yeah.
One thing that I do wish you were able to do is exchange fish with people.
Yeah, it's a little weird, right?
Yeah.
Well, wait, can you place a fish?
No, you can't. I mean, okay, look, if you are on somebody else's island, right, there's no way for you to take a fish out of your pocket and drop it on the ground like you can yourself. And then June had said when I was coming over, June had placed a bunch of fish on the ground, and so they were in containers, like they were in the aquariums. Yeah. I could not pick them up. All I could do was turn the lights on and off in the aquarium. But June's island is on
fish to each other.
Right. Can you?
I assume so. You can mail everything else.
Yeah, I don't know that you can you mail bugs? I haven't tried.
This is a great question.
The other thing is June's island is on the southern hemisphere. He said it to be the southern hemisphere. So I got so many cool exotic like fish and bugs that there's no way I otherwise would have been able to get.
Okay, that is cool. All right. I am sure that we are going to talk about Animal Crossing more in the days and weeks ahead. And I know we're both going to be opening our islands, and we're going to be visiting other people's islands. So if you are our friends on Switch and you open your island, I'm checking that kind of regularly just to see who I can visit. So I'm Ellers and you're Ace.
Yep.
So if you see us, it's just us. All right, Mark, let's get into the meat of the episode. Let's talk about Nintendo vacation spots. Okay, so the premise here is these are places that we would like to visit on vacation that are like from Nintendo games.
Yes. I mean, because we were talking about Animal Crossing, just like the idea of like going away to this idyllic island and being able to just like relax and check out like friends islands and everything is so appealing that like, yeah, what other like Nintendo dream vacations would we have?
Yeah, Nintendo Dream Vacation is perfect. That may be the name of the episode. And so people may have heard us discover Nintendo Dream Vacations right now and be like, duh, it's the name of the episode. But so we each have a couple places that we want to pitch as great vacation spots. Mark, would you like to go first?
Sure, yeah. So in the spirit of kind of this like island lifestyle, my first pitch is Isle Delfino from Super Mario Sunshine.
Very good pick. Very good pick. I would say I have a related pick, but why don't you tell me about why you like Isle Delfino?
Well, is Isle Delfino a little bit of a banana republic? Yes,
Absolutely.
probably. Its judicial system, as documented on this show, is completely out of control.
Yep.
It was Mario's farce of a trial was just like a sham of justice, but otherwise it seems really chill. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
It has everything I like, which is it has like the ocean, lots of sunshine, an amusement park. I won't go so far as to call it a theme park because it's not themed to anything other than carnival rides. It's an amusement park, but it still looks fun. You could do like squid jet skiing. And like the town center seems really nice. Great food, nice people. It seems great. It seems like a wonderful place to visit.
So my related pick is the Seaside Kingdom, Bub Lane from Super Mario Odyssey.
Yes.
And this is, I mean, it is very similar to the Isle Delfino, except it is, well, is Delfino like expressly a vacation spot?
It seems like that is like tourism is probably its main industry.
Yeah. And that's also true for the Seaside Kingdom, that there's like a club, and there's a volleyball court, and all of that. But the thing that's amazing about the Seaside Kingdom is that the water is carbonated and there's a giant champagne fountain in the middle of it. So not only are you going to have like a wonderful, beachy time, but also you're somehow going to get magically drunk drinking champagne that you're swimming in.
That is, there's like a number of like water kingdoms in Super Mario Odyssey. There's like the first one that you go to that's primarily underwater, and then later you go to the Seaside Kingdom where there's more like beach and it has that sort of atmosphere. And that one is just like so perfect. Like it's the one that they used in all the marketing when they were showing, like
Totally,
the Mario running around with his nipples out, because
it's beautiful. It's just beautiful.
Yeah,
like
it's so beautiful.
It's a nonstop sunset, and like I think that's where you meet the dog for the first time, is running around there. Like, and the people there are cool, and there's they're like the two like Loch Ness monsters like swimming around in the water there. It's just such a cool chill place, and the music is amazing. Yeah, I like that we both were like, okay, let's get like a nice like across the bow Mario vacation in.
And I realized in my initial, I have changed my list a little bit from where I started with it like earlier, because initially I had a lot of like chill kind of like beach type places on my list, but then the more I thought about it, it's like when I'm choosing to go on vacations, like that is something I want, but there's also like a lot of different types of places that I want to go that aren't always just like that chill out sort of like atmosphere.
Yeah. Well, and also like I lived on the island of Oahu for almost a year. And I can tell you that going to the beach gets boring after a while, where you're just like, well, what do we even do at the beach? We just have to do the same stuff that we're doing sitting around the house, except it's like hot and there's sand everywhere. So let's move on to maybe our slightly off of that theme. vacation destinations.
Yeah, sure. So my next pick is Inkopolis from Splatoon 2.
Okay, so Mark, I also have Inkopolis from Splatoon
Yes,
2.
I wasn't sure. I in fact, before we started recording, I was very confident initially. I was like, I don't think there's any way we're going to have the same stuff. I should have known better.
Should have known. Splatoon. Oh, look, Inkopolis would be an awesome place to hang out. Because it is overrun with this like Nickelodeon style youth culture and like this music that is upbeat and fun and doesn't really make sense. Like it's almost too noisy and like discordant to be pop. But like it's awesome. And everything looks cool and like, oh man, I love Inkopolis.
Yeah, everything has such a like fun vibe and everybody seems so cool. And so like I imagine the coolest version of myself, like the
Oh yes.
like the Stefan Urkel version of Mark Mitchell would emerge when I was in Inkopolis.
I mean, that's just you wearing Clement's clothes, though, right?
I mean, yeah, that's totally accurate.
That's true. I also like it seems like, I mean, obviously Inkopolis is just like Tokyo, right? So like in some capacity, like I just want a cool urban vacation, and that's what this would be.
Mm-hmm.
But I do have a backup now, so I'm gonna put Inkopolis on the back burner. That's yours. You get Inkopolis. I'm going to go now to Bella Cola. That's right. I'm choosing an island from Star Tropics.
I knew I was like, there's no way we're getting through this without a Star Tropics reference.
So, yeah, you know me too well. So Bella Cola is I think it's chapter 5 or 6. It is the one that takes place on like the pirate island. So there are 2 islands that are like right next to each other and a strait between them. And the strait is blocked by a beached pirate ship. And there's like a little culture that has built up around this beached pirate ship. So I want to explore an abandoned pirate ship because that's cool. It also has the church with the giant organ that you have to play by stepping on it. So like I want to have my own big moment, except instead of an electric keyboard, it is an organ that I'm jumping around playing heart and soul.
That does sound really fun. I realized we talk about Star Tropics all the time, and longtime listeners probably know Star Tropics. But do you want to just give like a brief overview of what Star Tropics is?
Star Tropics is a game on the original NES that is sort of an overhead, almost Zelda-like. In fact, it kind of pivots between being like a Final Fantasy-like game where there's like no action, and then when you go into dungeons, it becomes a little bit more Zelda-y. And it has these really obtuse puzzles and a lot of like, like pixel perfect platforming in it. And you play Mike, who is a baseball player from Seattle.
He has red hair, freckles.
He has red, and he fights with a yo-yo. He is as American as apple pie. And he is visiting his uncle, Mike. No, he's Mike. Dr. Jones. His name is Jones, I believe. He's
it
visiting
totally
his
is because
uncle.
it's a Indiana Jones.
Yeah, it's an Indiana
like,
Jones
ripoff.
yeah. And so your uncle, who does like some mysterious research in these islands, and he's missing, and you go on an adventure to find out what happens to him. And one of the sort of like side adventures as you're looking for him is you're trying to sail between these 2 islands, and there's a pirate ship in the way. And so that's where I'd like to go on vacation, because you get to have like the tropical island vacation, like, check, we like that. But there's a little bit more like culture and like interesting weird stuff here, like a pirate ship and like a giant organ.
So I'm going to kind of like piggyback off of that, like kind of thread the needle between the chill out vibe, but maybe with like a little more going on. And that is my next pick, which is the Rito Village from Breath of the Wild.
Oh, yeah.
So like, is the apocalypse looming depending on when I'm visiting? Like, yes, 100%. Or I guess actually maybe it already happened, right? And
Well, yeah. Yeah, you're saying in like the Breath of the Wild, like in the current timeline of Breath of the Wild?
yeah.
Yeah, the apocalypse has happened.
And but I'm still, you get bored at home,
Yeah.
even after the apocalypse. But one of the things that the Rito Village, one of the reasons it like checks the boxes for me is as a kid, one of the movies I loved watching was the Disney version of Swiss Family Robinson,
Yes,
and
totally.
going to like Disneyland and being able to walk up the tree house. Now it's like Tarzan's tree house, although still exists at Disney World, the Swiss Family Robinson tree house. But you're like walking up it, and just like the idea of living in that like tree house is so much fun that even to this day, it's like, yes, I 100% want to do that. And the Rito Village kind of captures that energy.
Do you think any of that has like there's some Ewok village that's like buried inside your head too? Because like they're also up in the trees.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
And that level in Donkey Kong Country, like it's all we like tree houses.
I think, yeah, it's just like inherent in us.
But yeah, and that's a great pick too, because like, they're the island that like the Rito are on it's like this enormous like just pillar of rock, right? That just like shoots up from this like huge hole in the ground, this giant ravine, or I don't even know like what you would call like dry lake or something. And like the views out from Rito Village are just awesome.
Yeah, and just like the verticality of it,
Hmm.
how everything's just like stacked on top of each other. It just seems like it'd be a super cool place to hang out.
Okay, would you try hang gliding?
I would try hang gliding. I like to pretend that I am a, you know, I would do anything once type
Yeah.
person. Um that's my goal anyways. That is what I strive to be. Is a sure I'll try that once.
I think especially if you know that like everyone else is a bird person and like they can try to save you.
Oh, I thought you were going to say that everybody else was doing it and that I would feel
No.
and so you'd be pressured into it and you would feel bad if you didn't. So of course you would
Right.
do it.
Both things are true. All right, so my next pick is perhaps a cheat. You can call me on it if it is. But I want to visit the entirety of the Lilat system from Star Fox. Now, this means I'm going to a lot of different planets. I'm going to Corneria, which is the kind of Earth-like planet, and it's got like cool cities and stuff. I'm going to Macbeth, which is like an industrial kind of planet with like volcanoes. It's a little bit Mustafari, to refer again to Star Wars. I'm going to Fortuna, which is a jungle planet with big monsters. I'm going to Saria, which is the dinosaur planet from Star Fox Adventures. Like, this is going to be one of those things where I spend like one day and one night just on each planet traveling the Lilat system.
I think that's totally fair and that sounds awesome.
Yeah. You get to see a lot of cool things, talk to some funny animals. Like, yeah.
And this is this from just like Star Fox in general or from like the Star Fox SNES game?
So, I a lot of the like structure of the Lilat system is uh like established in Star Fox and sort of expanded in 64. And then like every time they go back to it, it's like there's a little bit more information. And
Mm-hmm.
like the only like post Star Fox 64 information that I really want to incorporate is the Star Fox Adventures, cuz like I want to see some dinosaurs. I want to meet a tiny triceratops who is also a princess. Like like do not deny me this.
My next pick is Mute City from the F-Zero series.
Ooh.
So I've always liked really like big, dense, busy cities. It's
Yeah.
something that like I enjoy visiting and like being a part of it all, you know. Uh,
Yeah, totally.
so let me read to you the description of Mute City from the F-Zero wiki.
Yes, please.
Okay, so the city is the most famous location in the F-Zero Grand Prix, blah 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 blah. The population is over 1 billion and
Whoa.
consists of all kinds of sentient life.
Uh-huh.
Mute City is known as the metropolis in the heart of the Space Federation, and it's the information link for the entire universe. It is also regarded as the most advanced and sophisticated city in the universe. Um, Basically, it sounds a lot like Coruscant from, again, Star Wars.
Yep.
And that seems cool. That seems really cool to me.
It does seem really cool. Do we know, is it like a full planet-sized city? I mean, 1 billion is a huge city.
It is a huge city. I don't think we know. I don't think we know exactly how like much area it covers or what
It's
the
gotta
density
cover
is.
it's got to cover a lot of area because it is at least dispersed enough for there to be like high-speed car races through the streets of the city.
Well, I will say that Mute City is on Earth. So unless
Oh,
it has
okay.
taken up the entirety of Earth, then which it could, again, as far as I can tell, we have no specific like square mileage.
Yeah. Well, wait, hold on. Now this is interesting. Are the rest of the like tracks and locations in F-Zero, does the whole game take place on Earth or are you on other planets?
I have no idea.
We look, at some point we are going to dive deep into the geography of F-Zero,
Well,
but it probably
apparently
won't be today.
Mute City's original name was Mutant City. So maybe it's all taking
Mm.
place on Earth, and all the things we have just assumed are aliens are actually mutants or mutations of life form on Earth.
That's interesting. That like people started to mutate on Earth and then they were like, "Oh, all the mutants have to go to like one city," and then at some point the mutants started to outnumber the humans.
I think you're right. I think the only way we're going to get to the bottom of this is one day doing a deep dive.
Or maybe it's this takes place in the current Marvel universe with the X-Men, and Mute City is actually an outgrowth of Krakoa, the mutant nation. Oh, I just want to talk about X-Men. Okay. My next vacation destination is, of course, from Dragon Quest XI's Echoes of an Elusive Age Definitive Edition for the Nintendo Switch, is the Kingdom of Sniffleheim. Sniffleheim is an Arctic city. Sniffle is a very good pun in this case because it is a snowy land, and it's a port town, and it is adjacent to like mountains. So I like to go skiing, and I know there would have to be like some sort of development there in order to allow for chairlifts and the like. But the ruler of Sniffleheim, the queen there, is very close to an ice witch who used to like sort of plague the countryside, but now they're working together. So I imagine that she can work up some kind of magic to get me to the top of the mountain, and just I can keep skiing on down. And also, every town in I knew I would have to pick some town from Dragon Quest XI, and I was like, it could be any of them. They're all amazing places, and I just want to live in each one.
It's funny that you chose a like kind of snowy mountain area. My last pick is also that sort of thing, but I don't actually know what I would expect from it exactly because it is Mount Wario from Mario Kart
From
8.
Mario Kart?
And so at the end of like your downhill drive,
Yeah.
at the finish line is like this beautiful, enormous like winter lodge.
Mm-hmm.
And one of my dream vacations has always been going just like during the winter around Christmas, going to like the Swiss Alps and just staying in a lodge and being like really cozy and everything. And so I'm imagining that I could do that at Mount Wario, But the catch, of course, is that it is Mount Wario.
Wario, that's right.
And who knows what kind of 2.5 stars on Yelp service I would be getting at this lodge.
Also, you have to ask the question, how do you access the place? Do you need to be dropped from a plane?
Hey, I said I would do anything once.
You said you would do it. You said you would do it. It's true. No, Mount Wario does seem great though. Like, and it's got like expanses of forest, and there's like some cool hydroelectric dam or something. Yeah, that seems like a chill place.
Also, it has like snowboarding Shy Guys.
You bet it does. Look, any place that can offer me snowboarding Shy Guys, like I am there. Mark, was that your final location?
It was, yeah. I think that was all 5 for me.
Okay, so my fifth and final destination is Tadpole Pond from Super Mario RPG. So this is Mallow's hometown. This is where he was raised to believe that he is a tadpole, even though he's very obviously a cloud. But Tadpole Pond is it's got like a little bit of a like calypso sort of vibe to it, and there's a lot of water and tadpoles and frogs and stuff. But there are 2 reasons specifically that I want to go there. One is it is the home of Frogfucius, who is a wise and ancient frog who is also like kind of a goof. Like he's very smart and he'll say very like wise and insightful things to you, but he's also funny. So like I want to go talk to Frogfucius.
He's the complete package.
He is. He's the whole package. Plus he's a frog. So like come on.
So the complete package.
The complete package, yes. More complete than any human could ever hope to be. But also Tadpole Pond, for no reason, is the home of Toadofsky, the world-famous Toad composer. So, if you want to be on the bleeding edge of Toad classical music, you have to be where the genius composer Toadofsky is.
And you know that there's just like a Toad like Salieri who's also there, who's just so envious.
He's just struggling.
But you don't see him in the game.
You don't, and you never will.
Just another slight.
This is like an intellectual vacation for me, right? This is where I want to go, and I want to be in the presence of these 2 masters, one of just like philosophy and thought, and the other of music. I think that would be a cool time.
Yeah, all of those sound so appealing right now.
Yeah, I mean, really, anywhere outside of my house, that'd be a fun vacation. No, happy to do our part and stay inside and keep people safe. All right, Mark, let's close this out. And actually, well, we just talked about all the places that we would like to visit on vacation. I am certain that we are leaving things out. Obviously, we've got Star Tropics covered. Obviously. But if you have any cool places from the world of Nintendo that you think it would be fun to visit, shoot us an email at Nintendo Cartridge Society at gmail.com. That one wasn't as good as the first one.
Oh no! Oh no!
It's
Did
okay.
we peak? Did we hit perfection?
I mean, it's impossible to tell. If it sounds right to me, it could also be wrong, right? Well, we'll see. We'll see how we did. Everyone will let us know in the emails they send us, giving us their the places they'd like to visit within the Nintendo universe. I think this is fun because I feel like there's no limit to, like, you can make an argument for visiting almost any place, right?
Totally. I mean, we didn't even touch Pokemon, and that's like a nice place to go.
Yeah, that's like a really chill place where everyone is just excited about Pokemon. So anyway, email us those and we will share them on our next episode. Okay, that is going to do it for this episode of Nintendo Cartridge Society. If you like the episode, please rate, review, and subscribe on Apple Podcasts. You can share it on Facebook or Twitter or wherever you share stuff. On Twitter, I am at Patrick_Ellers. Mark is at MKE Mitchell, and the show is at Nin Kart Society. You can check out the Facebook page, which is just Nintendo Cartridge Society. And of course, if you ever want to visit our islands at some point in the future, follow us on Twitter. We'll be tweeting out dodo codes and become our friends. Our Switch friend codes are in the episode description of every episode. Olivia Duncan made our logo. Our theme music is provided by 8-Bit Betty. You can get more of his music by going to 8bitbetty.com or by listening right now. For my co-host, Mark Mitchell, this is Patrick Ellers saying we will never give you 2.5-star service. And thank you for listening.
Hey, Rachel, Oscar.
Yeah, Claire?
Do you love Disney movies?
Uh-huh.
Have you seen them all?
Not all of them.
What do you guys think if we watch them all in chronological order and then talk about them?
Ooh. Oh, and what if we could talk about it with some of our favorite friends?
I love that.
Yeah, what if we do it inside the Disney Vault?
You know, that's the name of our podcast, Inside the Disney Vault on Campfire Media.
Yeah, check us out on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen to yours.
That's Inside the Disney Vault.
Let's go!
Woo!
Campfire.